Oh, there you go. Okay. I'm going to be very delicate. I've changed the microphone settings. And there we go. Lo and behold, of course, one of the only thing that I can count on to see the audio is working properly for anything I break down or react to disappears after I hit the live button. That's it. I'm going to have to find the non-existent OBS specialist. So this is, in my mind at least, a quick one and done. I'm assuming and hoping that El Mico over there is going to work okay enough to where I don't have to have my head all cockeyed to the side and speak directly into it. Okay, so hopefully this will be good enough. I hope the feedback doesn't get too loud. Anyway, that's all I got for preparation for any imperfection. There's a little poster back there, Clockwork Orange. You may recognize that. Hey, Queen Survivor. It's good to see you. Good to have you. I hope, since you're here, I'm sorry that this question about the audio is so consistent. Clearly, I'm having issues with the program. Yo, Myco Trucker, dude, what's up, brother? Y'all are going to learn if you haven't learned already. I am an impromptu fella. I hate schedules because we live and die by schedules. We have to follow and abide by a schedule every day of our life until retirement or death, essentially. So, yeah, I kind of just go off of the manic moment and decide, do I want to do it? Do I want to go on? Yeah. But anyway, I would like to announce specifically Micro Trucker, who's right there in the chat. I really, really want him to guest on the next open panel, and I did. Thank you to Birthday Chat Supervisor Justin Rowan, aka Mr. President. If you don't get it, then you just need to keep on coming back so you can finally be on the inside of the joke. Aside from that, though, I'm looking forward to having him on here because he and I happen to agree on something that I find to be very important, which is just, across the board, people that have a platform should find it to be a blessing, yada yada, blah blah blah. I talk about it a lot. And thusly, don't, try to find yourself within some drama. Yes, we know there's plenty of channels. There's no shortage of channels that are, reaction channels in general. They start out with their mission and then they start reacting to a target of theirs. And then all of the good intentions and the ideals and the goals of talking about things that matter get completely lost in the fog of people getting more in tune about, let's do an expose, let's get all the dirt on this person, that person, and it just becomes a negative, unending circle jerk of how bad human beings are. So be better, do better, huh? And I'm proud to say, Micro Trucker has illustrated that he is capable of doing just that. I do have to check out his content. So, White Dragon, Trisha, Birthday Chat. I mentioned you before you even get in here. I haven't checked any videos, just got home from work. So let's see, I'm going to test something out right quick. Let me do the breakdown. All good things, though, I promise you. I'm trying slowly but surely to go live more. And even though, remember this, for any content creator, responding to negativity or trolling is really not that valuable unless you want to make, some good fun. Like, I think I want to collect some of the best comments and do, like, a reaction to that. But they're getting fewer and further between because I'm not, lending the power of my attention to it as much as I used to. That's one of the greatest lessons I learned during my hiatus, and I bring that up for a damn reason. Let's see if I have a full-bodied moment and forget why. Why did I bring that up? Oh, yeah, okay, so somebody yesterday was like, yeah, man, yeah, look at your analytics since you came back, man, and it just really made me appreciate how liberating it is not to not to give a flying shit about what people on the internet think about you. You know, either you're never going to be universally loved, people are going to vibe with you, see what you're trying to do, or not. By the way, also, big shout out to CanCon and what he's accomplishing over in the Rumble world. I have completely decided I'm going to make a Rumble account. I'm going to start making my videos here and then jump over there at some point when things get too contentious and, you know, the status quo would be like, uh-oh, red team go, he's speaking too much truth in one location, we gotta cancel him. So yeah, anyway, this right here is the highlight of my day. Russell Brand, one of my favorite people. I somewhat relate and empathize with this individual's journey. To me, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, we've all watched him kind of evolve. And by the way, let me know if the audio is better. Hey, Alexis Lee, good to have you, good to see you. Something tells me that I recognize you for some reason, but we'll keep that to ourselves for now. All right. So Russell Brand, I think he was originally touted and viewed as a liberal, right? Or tell me if I'm wrong. And he's been more nuanced. He has evolved. He is no longer, one size fits all anything. And I love the way he introduces himself and gets right into the content. He starts out by acknowledging the value of the independent thinker. You know, hello, you lovely 6 million awakening souls to the truth and all that. So he went ahead and highlighted something that I didn't know happened. And it's somebody that I've very slowly had to find respect for. And none other than Tucker Carlson, who's someone that I would normally attribute as being a mainstream media puppet, says something unexpected. And if you haven't seen it, let's watch it through the lens of Russell Brand's fantastic channel. I want some of Russell Brand's own words to build up to this. So here we go. I hope the audio doesn't blow out because I can't fix it yet. But here we go.
That those conversations are happening and people aren't ignorant to the effect and impact.
Let me know if it's not good enough. I will, let me check all my stuff. Wait, this goes up. There, you can hear the bass line, unfortunately. Let me know if that's no good, okay? I'm going to try.
Their language and actions on others. That's good, that's positive, it should happen. But redemption, forgiveness, moving forward, particularly in geopolitical issues where millions of lives are lost, if you're going to foreclose that, put that to one side and focus fastidiously instead on what I would regard as minor cultural differences, emphasizing those differences in order.
And does it sound like the audio is coming from the screen to the mic? Or does it sound like it's protruding just naturally? Let me know.
To prevent progress, what kind of culture are we going to get? What kind of real progress are we going to get?
What is one of your biggest regrets in your career?
Defending the Iraq War.
That is it?
All right, so right there, what is one of your biggest regrets in your career? This example right here is what I would hope can become somewhat of something that we can all expect from people that we have been told to trust. People within the news, the government. That's way far down the line. I am absolutely convinced that we have to have a complete tear down and restructuring to ever hear a trusted voice within the government again. And sadly, I got to hear something that killed me inside by Bernie Sanders, the last lefty fella that I was always proud to say I worked for the campaign and did my thing, and damn it, man, like he's pretty much said nothing short of he's playing the game. You know, you cannot critique the capitalist society and also profiteer from it, but also how else would you live your life? So I don't know, that's a topic for another day, but props to Mr. Tucker Carlson. You know, imagine if we had Fauci man up and say, yeah, the way I handled everything with the vid was terrible and anti-constitutional. Imagine just all of the people imagine the people that allegedly helped cover up the whole Epstein debacle coming forward. Imagine a government that told the truth. It seems so, impossible that it's like fantasy Candyland, but this is a world I would be happy to wake up to and live in. So, we're far from all of those things, but right here is a starting point.
A million regrets, not being more skeptical, calling people names when I should have listened to what they were saying. Look, when someone makes a claim, there's only one question that's important at the very beginning, which is the claim true or not? And for too long, I participated in the culture where I was like, anyone who thinks outside these pre-prescribed lanes is crazy, is a conspiracy theorist. And I just really regret that. I'm ashamed that I did that. And partly...
And where have we seen that kind of behavior again and again? It's still something that's happening on a daily basis, especially the more blue the state is, the more you'll hear it. There's still people touting, that everything done in the name of the greater good, says the mainstream and the status quo media, to protect us from the vid was justified. Everything that Fauci did was justified. That you can never sell me that narrative, ever. So I'm really proud that he is going against, even though it's so long ago, but this bit of progress is worth noting and worth recognizing, and just my appreciation to an individual I never thought I'd have a good thing to say about. I used to make fun of this guy a lot on Stuck in the Middle.
It was age, partly it was the world that I grew up in. So when you look at me and you're like, yeah, of course they're part of the...
Alexis, you're so welcome here. You don't even have to ever bother about saying you come in peace. Everybody's welcome.
...of control. I'm like, that's obvious to you because you're 28, but I just didn't see it at all. At all. And I'm ashamed of that.
Isn't that what the media tries to do, though?
It's their only purpose.
Right.
They're not here to inform you. Really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No. Their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
Wow, there you go.
So can we hope to expect such reverence towards the Praetorian Guard, the people in charge, the ones that, fill the pockets of those that are supposed to be journalists, investigative journalists, doing their due diligence to adhere and be an example of what the First Amendment is all about? Or is this just a pipe dream? Is this some kind of virtual signal? He's telling us, it's his job to go in every day into Fox News. And, I see Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN, they're all kind of the same in their own way because they pick and choose and cherry pick what to condemn. But hey, I can't say I've ever and expect to ever see CNN or MSNBC ever man up or live up to outright lying to us, we the people. It's their job to lie to us, and they're gonna keep doing it, and they're gonna keep pretending that it's for our own good. And if you ever speak out of line in that demographic and crowd, as I've experienced, ostracized, demonized, and told to go away. You're cramping our style. You're an alt-right radical, just like they did with Joe Rogan when he took ivermectin. That guy's taking horse medication. What a crazy fool. So, Russell Brand, give us some more knowledge because we need it more than ever.
The real conspiracy theorist, and what's the blunt and
Thank
simple
you,
truth?
Queen.
Is it,
You're
as
awesome.
Tucker Carlson claims, that the media simply amplify and magnify the preferred opinions and agenda of the powerful, or is it...
I hope everybody watching this presently or in the future already knows what he is saying to be the truth and nothing but the truth. I hope nobody is so disillusioned or brainwashed to believe that any mainstream outlet is legitimately trying to help us. In my heart of hearts, I believe they are in the business of keeping us ill, scared, somewhat contented, and brought to you by Big Pharma, Pfizer, and Purdue. Yeah, show me otherwise. Again, shout out to CanCon and what he's accomplishing on Rumble. There's other places, and there's a mass exodus happening right now from YouTube to Rumble, where I think a lot of us will end up in the near future.
that all of a sudden loads of people have become conspiracy theorists. Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments. Some interesting claims, ideas, and an interesting perspective from a media insider who has become critical almost to the point of becoming a whistleblower. But let's look now at some of the claims that were made by the mainstream media at the advent of the Iraq War, the reasons that war happened and how the media behaved during it. See if we can learn anything about not only current wars, but the media agenda more broadly today. As mainstream US media outlets pause to remember the US invasion of Iraq, it's clear that there's a lot they hope we'll forget. First and foremost, the media's own active complicity in whipping up public support for the war.
Damn right. Full-on propaganda. I'm not going to dare go down the rabbit hole that's full of strikes about 9/11. I remember Josh and I stuck in the middle. We had a bit of a debate about how this was orchestrated. And I leave that where it is. That's a conversation for an open panel and another day.
Media being complicit in whipping up support for any...
But, that was Bush Jr. wanting to finish Daddy's war. And, we found yellow cake. Remember Dave Chappelle? We got that yellow cake. And he literally eats pound cake. Yeah. Props to, they were telling us the truth with lies yet again. That's the work of the artist, to tell you the truth with lies. And the media, well, they lie to us and expect us to take it as the truth. I think I got that right.
Wars lately? Oh! But the more you dig into mainstream news coverage from that period, the harder it is to forget how flagrant...
Shamrock, I'm going through all of the content you sent me, and I'm going to do a very special... completely focused on everything you sent me live. You will be, I will let you know immediately when that happens.
News networks across the broadcast and cable landscape uncritically spread the Bush administration's propaganda and actively excluded dissenting voices.
That's right. It happened then.
Bush, a Republican
happened
president then,
during Obama.
A Democrat president now, and the differences are, in my view, not significant enough. The numbers don't lie. A 2003 report by the media watchdog Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting found that in the 2 weeks leading up to the invasion, ABC...
I think we get the gist here. While we're here, remember last night, guys, when I was using StreamYard, and sadly I could not play the simple Joe Rogan video, the very brief... Okay, so here it is. Remember I was talking about how they reached out to him, the powers that be, people that can control the narrative, push an agenda, the wealthy.
Have you met with people that are in these positions of power now?
No.
Never?
I've avoided it.
But they've tried to meet up.
I've had some opportunities to meet some people that I don't want to meet. Yeah.
And
no thanks.
How do you say no thanks to the people that do whatever they want?
Ghost.
You just don't respond. You ghost them.
You ghost. So the CIA is hitting you up and you just leave them on red.
Come on. I think by this point in time they probably don't want to have anything to do with me. But I think before, like, a lot of
I wish you would be a little bit more transparent about who exactly reached out. This is total guess, unfounded. I got nothing to base this off of, but could you imagine, who would want to do some damage control? Fauci, right? Oh, but he would never have the balls to talk to Joe Rogan, who disproved how COVID was supposed to be handled in 3 days. The Koch brothers, people from Halliburton, Soros, I don't know, Pelosi. Oh, and thank you. Was it you, Sham? No, somebody sent me the video of Pelosi's daughter talking about how the insurrection, you know what, we might have a treat. Let me let this play, and I gotta hide.
The controversy and the Spotify stuff, they were looking at the podcast as a way for people to get on there and have a chance to shape the narrative. You know, I'm a friendly guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm not trying to play gotcha with anybody.
Yeah.
When people come on, if they say they don't want to talk about something, I say, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in having a conversation.
Have you met with people that are in these
hold
positions of power now?
I'm real time. I have to protect the source. I don't want this guy's full name to be revealed. Thank you. You know who you are. You got a lot of heat on you, and yeah, I don't want to add to that. So thank you for sending this video. Let me open it up proper like. Close that. And hell, I hope YouTube allows this video to be played. I'll believe in fighting for the right to have this video maintained. I'm opening it, and don't worry, I won't forget to switch it so you can see it as well as hear it. So give it a moment here while it loads. Here we go. That doesn't sound right. Cool. Oh, okay, good. I like my commercials in Spanish anyway. Okay, can we try that again? I'm working on it, I promise. Watch the full video here. I'm here. Here we go. Okay, let's get this done, my friends. Let's see the famous video. I've already heard some people try to explain it away as to why Pelosi's daughter would say the things she's going to say. You be the judge. We here are not like the mainstream media. We're not going to regurgitate falsehoods to you and tell you to say, please sir, can I have another? No, here's the video that I often refer to. I'm going to try to enlarge it. But you know what? Something might happen. We'll get another commercial in Spanish. So, oh wait, is that the button? Picture in pic. I don't know. Let's listen.
I need to know.
Can you because I was scared. Can you get into?
I need to go there.
Country brother.
He wants me to come visit him, but he has. But
Drop those links.
He needs to put you on the list. Yeah, but the problem is that I want to go with a camera.
Whoa, I just realized all this time I've been saying she was not on camera, she's on camera. And she's talking to, if I recall, I'm going to learn in real time with you guys, military personnel, and are there people that were charged for being there? Okay, I'm going to let it ride. I do want to enlarge this. Toggle to full screen. Let's try it one more time. If, just taking risks here. It does, no, ain't gonna happen. All right. What's up, Brad? I'll try to get you in with the camera.
You need to get a permission. There's a form. There's a form you can fill out. I'll get you the information. I'll give you the picture.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you.
do you know anything about his? He had a. First of all, do you think that he's a no? Do you think that he got a good deal or a bad deal? He got 8 months.
Was he the one who got the lawyer went away?
Yeah, the
Yes.
reserves went on right.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. This lawyer, Patrick Ledoux.
I never had access to this much of the video, so forgive me if I shut up for a long period of time, although that might not be a terribly bad thing. And I'm really enthralled right now. I heard clips and snippets.
Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay. So he was in the reserves, old guy, really old guy. He is a lawyer, but he's also in the reserves, and he also is very, very religious. So what he does when you come in, let's say you're the client, the first thing he does is he says, have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? So he converts them instantly. That's what he's very good at. So what he did with Paul was he got Paul to go to church and blah, 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 all that. So then,
Are we missing something?
God wants you to make right. You go right to the judge, tell him you did everything, and just face the music, period. So he did that, but then he felt like, this is one of these things. I actually call Paul my friend. We write every other day.
Paul?
I consider him of all of them. I'm torn between. So after the lawyer went away to the reserve to go serve in Afghanistan, he went and got another lawyer and said, basically, I feel like I was duped by my lawyer.
Sorry, so this is actually a meeting between Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, defending Proud Boys founder Kevin McGinnis during a meeting with a former Proud Boys member who was present at the Kumbaya moment. Documentary filmmaker Alexandria Pelosi was knowingly recorded during a January 2022 meeting with a January 6th defendant and his attorney in footage first released by Gateway Pundit. Hey, that's who CanCon writes for. The Daily Caller identified the defendant as former Proud Boys member Gabriel Garcia and contacted his defense attorney. So there's some context. Okay. All right. Let me let this ride. I'm very intrigued.
New lawyer,
what's up, Slim?
I have not talked to because I'm not sure I trust the new lawyer. Because first of all, he gets out May 18th. Is the lawyer gonna be able to get him out before then? I mean, it's already January, February.
But you're already with a conviction.
Yeah, but you could appeal it. Like, I mean, then it becomes like you're not a convicted felon. You still have status to appeal.
You can win an appeal.
Yeah. If you win the appeal and overturn it, so he would still have summons.
So we're talking about people that were arguably illegally detained after appearing there during J6.
So some days I tell him he got great legal. Sometimes I say 8 months was great, considering that the shaman who did not. I mean, what did the shaman do? He stood there. What did Paul do? He stood there. The shaman got how many months? 41.
41 months.
So,
okay, as I recall, the footage of the shaman guy with the blue makeup and the big old, the horns and all that, he was essentially let through everywhere, basically escorted. I don't recall any clips of him being violent. One could maybe make the argument he was an agitating component, though I wouldn't say that that's a case, nor is that enough to detain somebody without proper due process for 41 months. What were there actually charges laid at his feet here? Jake Angeli, the QAnon shaman. Okay.
And I think that the government is
What's up,
going to
Indy?
go for more, that they're going to look to get bigger. Like, people are criticizing some of the people that got home commitment. A lot of people are getting probation and stuff. So I think they're looking to make
An example.
Like, I think if Paul went now, he'd get a longer sentence.
What did he do? What did he do?
He just walked in with the Trump flag into the Senate.
That's it.
He just walked in with a Trump flag. That's all he did, and he got 41 months in prison. That makes sense to me from a legal standpoint, especially you, daughter of one of the most corrupt individuals I can possibly fathom.
That's it. And he got. So I don't know if 8 months was good or bad.
Well, for the charge itself, I'm looking from a charging point of view.
15-12.
See, but you didn't walk into the Senate. See, walking into the
But I
Senate.
didn't do that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the bad thing.
I wasn't even there to say it. A lot of these people are like, we're here to overturn the. I wasn't even there for that reason. I'm not there to overturn anything.
I think they might have used him to shore up their 15-12 charge too, because if they have people pleading to it.
15-12.
Judges, look, we already have people.
Does anybody know what reference the 15-12 charge is? I'll search in the background. Take care, Red. Okay. Good to have you.
This felony. So if you overturn it for one case, you're going to overturn all the prior convictions. It puts more pressure on these district judges not to overturn it.
Apologies for asking this. Help the algorithm. Feel free, if you find it worthy, hit the like button. Only if you feel compelled to.
Because we have Paul. He's going to plead guilty to the 15-12 because they dropped everything with the 15-12.
15-12.
The charge they never used before. So they're like, this guy will take 8 months. And we'll have another plea. They make every single person charged with the 15-12 plead to the 15-12. I haven't seen them drop it.
I'm going to let this play uninterrupted, and I'm going to close the comments briefly and look up this charge 15-12.
Be interested on the first trial, how that's going to look like.
Well, I think the one thing, if you drag it out, after the Democrats lose the House, and then they get rid of the committee, people may lose interest.
Yeah.
The first trials are going to get a lot of attention.
Okay, hold on. 1512. Tampering with a witness, victim, or an... Hold on. 18 U.S. Code 1512. Tampering with witness, victim, or an informant. Whoever unalives or attempts to unalive another person with intent to prevent the attendance or testimony of any person. And how is this can't be connected here? An official proceeding, prevent the production of a record, document, or other object in an official proceeding, or prevent the communication by any person to a law enforcement officer, to the judge get this right, okay, or judge of the United States of information relating to the commission or possible commissions of a federal offense or a violation of conditions of probation, parole, or release pending judicial proceedings shall be punished as provided in paragraph 3. Whoever uses physical force for the threat of physical force against any person. How could they get this guy for that? He didn't threaten anybody. He walked, practically escorted, unabated. or attempts to do so with intent to influence, delay, or prevent the testimony of any person in official proceeding, cause or induce any person to withhold testimony or withhold a record, document, or other object. By the way, that friend of mine that is battling addiction has a beautiful rehab that she will be going to on Saturday. So thank the stars, and it's covered by a family member's insurance. So anyway, okay. Alter, destroy, mutilate, or conceal an object with intent to impair the integrity or availability of the object for use. All right, evade legal. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and I don't know. I don't see anything that warrants 41 months for Jake and Jelly here. I'm going to go back to the comments while this plays.
Yes.
It's like anniversaries. The first one is a big deal. They made a really big deal. January 6th. Right. No one's going to care after the Democrats are out of power.
Right.
And then take Biden out of office, then who cares? If you drag it out long enough, I wouldn't go first for a trial. Because D.C. is a lot of people who work for the government.
Is she cool?
And it's a lot of... I don't think that's sympathetic.
The jury.
The jury is...
What's up, T-Nice?
I think the trial should be held there.
Well, if you got moved, you totally get off.
No, they won't move it. I mean, think about it. They'll resist it. They'll say, I've heard the hearing. They're going to say, how dare you say we're not fair? We're fair. And then it's very, the last time the government moved the trial was the Oklahoma City bomber. They agreed to move it to Colorado. So that's they stipulated. Even the Boston bomber case, which is now on appeal, the city of Boston, or the federal judge there was like, what do you mean we can't be fair?
And the motion gets signed by the judge.
Welcome to the chat.
But there might be more favorable up the line. You know, we go to the not even the DC Circuit of Appeals, the Supreme Court. They might say, well, wait a second. You have politicians every night comparing it to Pearl Harbor, 9/11.
That was just DC.
Which is insane hyperbole, mainstream media tactic strategy 101. Comparing everything. It's funny. The mainstream media can compare J6 to all of those terrible tragedies and atrocities, but whenever somebody, Gina Carano, makes some sort of loose connection or comparison to, and I know it's distasteful, remember, I wear this, when she makes some comparison of Nazi Germany and how things were happening around the vid days, she gets canceled and loses her job and career. Thankfully, the Daily Wire has been putting her to work. So, rules for thee, not for me. Justice over here, not over there. And consistency. We need consistency in the law for all sides, every time, every day.
DJ, the National Guard there for 7 months. If you live there, you're like, I am
tampering with a witness.
National Guardmen around here. You know, my city was attacked. The local media every day. You can't have a fair trial.
Well, the reason, I think time is going to remember January 6th differently. Right now, people are still in the heat. There's two things. Media needs stuff to fill. I mean, if you watch...
Sorry, Maxwell. Good to have you.
January 6th, 24/7. As time goes on, it's going to be less. And so I think also people are going to lose their office, the jobs. The people that were there are going to lose their jobs. It's not going to mean anything if you weren't even there. You don't even care.
We need like a water breaker.
Who exactly? Who are we talking about? I mean, if you were to believe the lies, the blatant lies that were disproven, I even had an entire debunking special on this very channel before the recognition it got of Alexandria Cortez lying about where she was, lying about how in danger she was. Could this mean she could lose her job? Because now I'm absolutely all for it. She's earned her place in getting fired for being a fraud.
I thank you for your time.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I really, I know you're not the bad guy. I mean, if there is, I haven't found the bad guy yet, but if there is, I know you're not the bad guy.
I mean, he's like a stereotypical bad guy.
But the thing is, why I asked you the question of like, so what was the plan? Is that if there was an insurrection, you were supposed to be in line. Marching, you're in the military, you know this.
No,
you were supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's called the operations order. You sit down overnight with your soldiers. You go over, all right, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go in by this side. At
And
this
that-
time, we're
that
gonna
is-
take over this. There was none of that.
If there was an insurrection, it's a sorry insurrection.
That's right, and there was, 33, 34 active FBI agents in there provoking things. There was agitators. There was so many things that were suspicious. And so if we eliminate those factors, we may have been left with a completely different scenario. But they knew they needed to make something out of this. I'm convinced when I say they, the mainstream media, the people that are scared of a non-politician, scared of Trump, they had to make this become something. Why was security constantly called off? I mean, these are dead horse points, but still always relevant because people are still detained.
In the 20th, 21st century ever. No guns,
A
no
guy-
plan, people taking
A
selfies.
guy smoking pot.
I love the guy
Yeah,
smoking
I'm like.
Well, we did that. We just went to New Hampshire last week for the guy that just was drinking beer,
Or my favorite
wine.
guy holding
The pew.
the pew just
Oh, yeah.
waving. I'm
Oh,
like,
he's Florida. He's a Florida guy. Wait,
Oh,
what's gonna happen
go
to
Florida.
him, Mr. Webb?
He got,
No,
He
he
got
bled.
He bled.
I'm waiting for sentencing, right?
Yeah.
But what's
Fled.
he gonna get?
Probably get a few months. I'm not sure. He got.
But he was standing next to the shaman in the Senate.
So is the plea?
The guys with the lectern.
Yeah, he did more. So that's what pisses me off. These people
They
are
were,
getting
you know,
like
they give
missed
him
like
notice and
15. There was a guy that they said threw a fire extinguisher at a cop.
Yeah.
They gave him 15 days.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
that's why-
What?
that's why-
Wait. Okay, this is important because I hear the story that somebody threw a fire extinguisher at a cop. Did I just hear they're gonna give him 15 years? What pissed this guy off? I'm gonna go back just 4 seconds or so. I need to fully
Wait, the guy that
understand.
just was drinking beer,
Or my favorite
wine.
guy holding
The pew.
the pew just
Oh, yeah.
waving. I'm
Oh,
like,
he's Florida. He's a Florida guy. Wait, what's gonna happen to him, Mr. Webb?
He got.
No,
He
he
got.
bled.
He bled.
I'm waiting for sentencing, right?
Yeah.
But what's he gonna get?
Probably get a few months. I'm not sure. He got.
But he was standing next to the shaman. in the
Shaman,
Senate.
yes.
The guys with the lectern.
Yeah, he did more. So that's what pisses me off. These people
They
are
were,
getting
you know, they
like
give
missed
him
like
notice and
15. There was a guy that they said threw a fire extinguisher.
They said threw a
they gave him 15 days.
15 days. Whoa. Okay. Whoopsie. So how do you compare? See, I mean, that right there is a bold-faced lie that clearly the media has run with, or the government has run with. They say, hearsay, that he threw a fire extinguisher. Do we have evidence? Do we have video? Or do we just have eyewitness testimony? And 15 days. How is that comparable to the shaman for just walking where there was no obstruction, getting 41 months? Doesn't make sense at all.
You're gonna be able to laugh about this one day. If I were you, I would drag it out. That's what I would do. My strategy is drag it out.
Yeah,
Because
but my legs about to fall off.
oh, if you can get that thing off,
Right. Well,
then I would just wait.
Oh yeah.
Because I wouldn't. The first trials, like this, I was in Ohio with this guy who is going to trial. He wants to subpoena Trump and make it like this whole like.
They're not gonna.
It's gonna be.
They're not gonna allow that. They're not gonna. The district judge.
Subpoena Trump for what? Because I remember I've gone over it many times. He literally did incite everybody to go there peacefully. Or incite was a terrible word to use. He said go there peacefully. So good luck sticking Trump with anything like that. And I really thought about Ronnie York's conversation with me about Trump wanting to get arrested so that Discovery would be forced over to literally the right side. And when I say right, the conservatives, the Trump council, to see the legitimate claims that they have to lay any charges on anybody.
I just want to subpoena people who are involved in my case. For example, that officer that I gave water, the guy that interviewed me, probably maybe one more person. But other than that, I want
Did
people.
you find him, Officer Lopez?
Yeah, let's find him.
You should find him. I mean, he's.
If he has a name, you can find him.
Yeah,
Officer
no,
Lopez.
Officer Lopez. We found some stuff on. He's from like Coachella,
California.
From the place where the concerts happen?
That's what.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me. Like, oh, he's a Coachella guy, and I was like, from the concert? Like, no, he's from the city. I was like, oh.
Oh.
So local news,
Where's he from?
local Coachella News did a thing about him because he got some award or something for being capital Capitol Police from that day. But he's the one in the video where he's offering him water, and he looks kind of shell shocked.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
He looks.
Okay, I'll look for him. I'll look for him.
I've been a combat, so I know that feeling. His
He
buddy's trying to talk to him, and he's like,
yeah, he looks like he's.
It's dawning on me how crazy this is. This is Alexandria. This is Pelosi's daughter being seen with what Nancy herself would say is the enemy, and she's look at her buddying with everybody, talking about almost like she has common sense over here. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this at this point.
I'm so glad that I met you because the media makes you into a monster. I mean, when you watch it, you're like, let's look at clips, and it's all very like. And can I tell you a sad story? And I'll let you go back to it because I know you're talking about it. So, in the summer, I went to lunch with. Do you know who Emily Hernandez is? Have you met her? Heard of her? Okay, the girl who her claim to fame was she took home and put on her wall the Nancy Pelosi Office of the Speaker sign.
Oh yeah.
So she was one of the people I wanted to get to really early because I was like, I know that if I went to something like that and I took something home to put on my wall, I know that it's a memento and not a scalp.
Right.
I knew she was 21 years old.
Right.
I knew this is not what they're making it seem.
Right.
So I had lunch with her at her country club. And I was like, so what were you doing there? And she was like this. Well, I'd never left Missouri before. I mean, like my neighbor was driving to D.C. like they're in Missouri. I was like, I'll go to D.C. because I'd heard like the monuments. And I'm thinking, this girl is like, barely finished high school, like farm girl.
Right. Naive.
What do you do for a living? My family's farm. And I was like, and they're turning her into like public enemy number one.
She is right there admitting to the power of the mainstream to demonize anybody. She was nothing more than happenstance.
And the lawyer got it down. I mean, they walked into her bedroom and they saw the thing on the wall, right? So you think, oh, she's gonna go down. She got a misdemeanor, nothing, and would walk in and get probation. But on the night of the anniversary of January 6th,
on the anniversary,
she was drunk in a bar,
she got a DUI.
Killed a mother.
Holy crap! She unalived a mom.
And it's clear.
Jesus.
And now I'm doing it because I know her.
Yeah.
What happened was when the local news starts to, you're a guy who's been in the army.
Yeah.
They talk shit. You don't care. Like they say, oh, local guy, bad guy. This girl didn't have the emotional strength or maturity or whatever. So when she sees her face on TV as like the January 6th anniversary, where are they now? The Capitol insurrectionists, and she's like a 21-year-old farm girl.
Yeah.
So she's
gonna make a case for the media, like adding to some sort of post-traumatic or emotional distress. Like, where is this leading exactly? What is this example? What's the goal?
Really, her nature, I think, to be drunk. Anyway, so now it's her life. She pled to a nothing charge, nothing. But because of all the attention and the focus on her and the way her neighbors treated her, the way they whispered about her in the country club.
See, even if, all right, taking aside entirely of the DUI, like she unalived somebody in an accident, Alexandria Pelosi here is showcasing and explaining in very clear English the pressure of, even if you didn't do anything wrong, if there's constant scrutiny, I can quasi-relate, constant pressure from loads and loads of people, you suddenly start to feel what? Feel guilty or paranoid, you question yourself. Is she talking about like the psychological warfare that, people with numbers and connections can do to just a Jane Doe, John Q. Public here? Very interesting to me.
You got DUI manslaughter.
They haven't charged her yet because they haven't gotten the toxicology reports back. And I was with her Monday and she said, I don't even remember any of it. She herself got like blacked out. She was blacked out the whole time. Doesn't remember any of it.
So who did she kill? Or
the mother. She killed an unknown person.
That's a reason to go to prison.
6 miles at 60 miles an hour. She doesn't remember any of it.
Into a car and the woman who was sitting next to her husband who drove, husband in the hospital, wife died.
Oh.
It's terrible.
I heard about it.
No, but that's an example of like, if you go deep, if you're really it's like That's an example of like the kind of damage bad media. You can say like, oh, the media doesn't treat me fairly and they're full of shit. That's fine.
Right.
But like, it's not ruining your life. This has ruined her life. And
The coverage of her very small part that was not criminal, of just being there, and because of the negative, toxic, hyperbolic coverage, it has had a psychological impact on this little farm girl. Fascinating little insight. And from the source, even more fascinating.
January 6th was like a blip.
Oh,
But
no,
the
it's-
attention from it
Right, right.
freaked her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it takes a lot of time too.
No, but I don't mean just the words itself, but when you have people I have people calling from Oregon that have nothing to do with my business, leaving bad reviews on my website saying, "Oh, insurrectionists." I had my secretary that's scared of going to work.
See that?
and saying,
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, it reminds me of this is a part of the human condition. These are what people do when they have a common goal or agenda or target. They pull out all the stops to destroy their counterparts in any way they can, even if they can't physically reach him. And think about all the damage that the media, the government, the three-letter agencies that work, and that are beholden to corrupt lobbyists, that they could do to any one of us at any time for simply speaking out of turn, going against the tide, so to speak.
It's not a bad thing to have, like in my life, or
Well, you got the
Repeat something enough and it does just about become the truth in your mind's eye. Very, very astute, very true.
I got a call. I had
It made it
they
look like,
closed down the
like
whole-
an anthrax. I think we had to call out the cops, the chemical.
did.
Why do people are so weird? People are so weird.
And it tested positive the first
Yeah,
test.
two-
And they
two
said that
times.
somebody who knows what they're doing made sure that the first test, it'll test positive, like a field test, it'll pass that until they do the actual chemical. Like it was very premeditated and it had like a letter like to Proud Boy.
I had to get washed down, hazmat suits,
It
everything.
referenced the beep. Oh,
The
your thing's
beeping on it.
beeping too loudly now. How do you like this?
I opened the letter, I went to
The
work,
powder
my
was off.
secretary, I thought it was a bill or something, and when I opened my letter, I just went like that. White powder came out, I was thinking already, alright, anthrax or something like that, who knows, crazy people.
And the FBI shows up, and they were more like, it's almost like they were more interested in just searching his office. We were like, we didn't even trust them because they were like using it like, oh, who is he? And then we had to get the postal inspector out there to try and like.
Are they describing like a possible plant setup scenario here? I am only speculating based on what I'm hearing. I mean, we're all flies on the wall for this little clip, but this is interesting information. I'm trying to make out what they're really describing here.
It was like a jurisdictional thing.
Yeah.
It was it's a mess, total
So,
mess.
yeah, my
Technology
employees,
has wonders.
20 employees, they're worried too.
Look, you're such an upstanding member of society.
Uh,
Do they talk about that in the court?
no, of course not.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, no, I've never done nothing
At
wrong.
the trial, they will.
At the trial.
Yeah, status hearings is very.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna call me a white supremacist. As a matter of fact, I want it in Spanish. That was my first language, so
That would be fine.
I want an interpreter for my next book.
Okay, so I want you to know that I'm from New York City, and I was always a long time ago friends with Gavin McGinnis, who supposedly the guy that started the
Yeah,
Bad Boys.
right, yes.
And he, when you say it's a drinking club, I'm just telling you guys, I don't know what the Proud Boys is, but I know Gavin McGinnis. I went on road trips with him to parties.
Whoa!
It was so comical to me when I first started hearing about like Proud Boys are from. This was like years ago when they started saying in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
where he's from.
2016.
I was like, what? This guy? I mean,
Yo.
he may talk shit, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is like he's a provocateur. He
He
says
is,
it to
yeah.
like be
Yeah,
funny or
right,
whatever.
Pelosi's daughter is buddy with Gavin McGinnis? Holy jeez.
But the idea that he's now being elevated to being this, it makes me,
Yeah.
it totally makes me laugh because I'm like, look, I know this guy. I've been to many parties with him, and I know he just says some crazy.
The
shit.
apple fell far from the tree.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be like the godfather, and I know that. So when they say Proud Boy, I'm always like, what is a Proud Boy? So that's why it's funny to me. It's
Yeah,
like,
like I said, we'll sit around the table or call each other, hey, where you want to meet up?
She's almost acknowledging that the whole Proud Boy mythos, if you will, or narrative, is just something. It's just that. It's just something that the opposition or the mainstream put together, so that just like the term in conspiracy theorist was invented, so you have the target and you could name it and everybody would know what you're referring to. It's like they invented, the media invented that. Or was he, or did Gavin McInnes like say, yes, this is my doing and we call ourselves the Proud Boys? See, it's crazy and it's sad and it's fascinating when you're in a world and you cannot decipher what's invented versus what's the truth.
You can figure out where to go eat, and it's like.
No, I mean, I know the Brooklyn version of those guys, and I was just like, so I just wanted you to know that. Like, I have a whole history with these people, and I'm like, come on, you're like, that's just kind of like, anyway.
See, with her connections, she could be in a position of power to speak truth to power. Why do we have to find her behind closed doors on some camera that I don't know that she knows is on her? She could be a useful advocate and stand for something. What is she really doing? She's coasting on mommy's teat and her father-in-law's like insight into the stocks. I mean, I'm glad that she's so down to earth and partying with Gavin McInnes, but what has she really done with what she could possibly do, with the reach and potential she has and the clarity? She could do something. She could make the Pelosi name something more than just one in the same with corruption.
Okay, well, I know that you have a job and a life and places to go. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to fuck you. I'm not going to do whatever you think it is about editing to good or bad.
Whoa, that escalated quickly, but I get it.
Yeah. No, I promise I won't.
Do you mind if I get a picture with you? No, I promise.
No, I mean, I wish I had.
I'm not gonna do nothing bad picture. I'm not gonna.
You can put a.
It's not.
That's the first time I saw the entire clip. I'm perusing the HBO released the finished documentary, Pelosi in the House. I don't think I could stomach that. Okay, well, that was insightful. Let me really quick check the plethora of topics here. Oh, no, this is too controversial to get into. This is another thing that could get me stricken down. You guys know, I don't know if it's David Goggins, Kenny Goggins. There's somebody that said something extremely grotesque about him or in a racial slur-esque manner. And it's his response to it that I think it's eloquent. You know what? You live once, right? And then I'll close out. Let me open this real quick. And let me see if I could cover the word that would absolutely get this channel destroyed overnight. Okay. I'm going to read David Goggins' response, and I'm not going to scroll down to the image. I'm just going to, I'll tell you what's there in a nutshell, okay? Oh, look, I'm in a nutshell. That's an Austin Powers joke. Some troll hater took an image, made an image, and called David Goggins the N-word, okay? With a hard E-R. So, he had any number of infinite justifiable responses to be all up in arms or cancel the individual, but listen to how he handles it. Oh boy, now it's spelled in there. Alright, here we go. If some moderator takes this post down, you are doing a disservice to society. We can't keep hiding this shit from people. Growing up, I had people calling me that word, and most of the time it wasn't to my face. We didn't have social media back then, so instead of being a coward online, they would write it in my notebooks, leave messages in my locker, and even spray paint it on my car. And now we have the internet, thank goodness. Even more hurtful was when people try to tell me that it didn't happen and it doesn't exist. Thank God for my high school principal, otherwise I would not have been able to share those experiences, as he was the only one brave enough to go on record admitting that it happened. I'm sharing this to all of the people that think censorship and canceling has any value. What lesson can be learned if you continue to throw a blanket over something or pretend something didn't exist and or happened? So, this is why I'm sharing this. You would be shocked at the hundreds of emails I get daily from kids who are unsure how to handle the hate they encounter at school and online. Many of them feel like they want to unalive and are desperately seeking help. An email response from me can't fix what they are dealing with. It takes countless real conversations. A lot of you are afraid to show this kind of message to your kids and sadly look at... I won't show it, but you know very well what I'm talking about. And want to hide and protect them from this kind of hate. I strongly suggest showing them stuff like this. Prepare them for the world they're going to experience. That's not to say that's what the world always is. But you cannot hide the negative aspects that are there. We all have to go through every negative experience to inevitably become a positive. They might not be called that word, but they will find another word that is equally offensive. The worst thing I've ever experienced was when a young man reached out to me on email saying that he wanted to unalive himself. He was getting bullied and didn't know how to handle it. Sad thing is that I responded to it months too late. Oh, jeez. Think about that. All the, not to me, I can take it, but all you trolls and doxers going after people and their family and doing all this harm. Think about the psychological impact. It's just devastating to me what I have seen happen on these YouTube streets. One of the largest examples as to why I stopped channel hopping. Because I don't need to. I don't need it. We all are responsible for protecting our own mental health. We hide too much from our kids and trying to create some perfect world for them so when the hard times come, and they are coming, they have no idea how to handle it. They can't see beyond it. I am sharing this with you to let you know that you are not alone. I am 48 years old and have been experiencing this for 48 years. For all 48 years? All right. This post is amateur compared to the things I have endured, and yet I have not only survived the hate, I have thrived in spite of it. It's a positive message. Despite any and all hates, we owe it to ourselves, to our families, to our supporters, to come out the other side stronger. That's how we can give back. So with that, I say thank you for joining me during this little brief Progressive Patriot, I don't know how long I was on. And let me say my farewells, T96, Queen Survivor, Maxwell, White Dragon, Shamrock, got it right, Independent Many, Birthday Chat Supervisor Justin Morin, and anybody else that I may have missed, Alex Lee, thank you for, and Slim, my brother from another mother. That's, yeah, okay, and before I scroll all the way up to the top, so thanks much. I look forward to reading the comments when I rewatch, and much love. Celebrate your independent thinking, now more than ever, during a time where the powers that be, the mainstream, they don't want that. They want you to just be a sheep, be a shepherd, be a lion amongst the sheep. And good night. Gotta fix this mic. I still hear feedback. Oddly enough, I don't know if this helps, it's when I closed my door. So it's something. Alright. If we didn't have problems, we wouldn't find the ability to work hard and fight and get solutions. Find the silver lining, folks.